views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Mission BX. Mission BX is a collaboration between the Center for Bronx Nonprofits at Hostos Community College and BronxNet. Today, we're visiting Spaceworks. Spaceworks is a place where artists have studios that sits right in the middle of an affordable housing complex. So come with us and see the amazing work that people are doing in this space. Welcome everybody to this version of Mission BX, and we are here in this beautiful space that you can see just a little bit in back of me, and my guest, Raul Rivera from Spaceworks. So we're going to talk about how this magical place appeared here in the Bronx. And Raul, tell us about Spaceworks. Tell us where we are, what this is.
Yes. First, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have this interview. So Spaceworks is a citywide non-for-profit arts organization. We were founded in 2011, actually by the city of New York. But since then, we became our own entity. And we developed subsidized low-cost spaces throughout New York City for artists to work in their creative practices in their neighborhood. So the goal is to really keep artists in their communities, working in their communities, and creating in their communities. Because, as you know, a lot of artists have been displaced, things have become unaffordable. So our mission is really to keep New York City artists thriving and working and supporting creative entrepreneurship.
And so by artists being here, they can also interact with each other, because we'll be walking around and there are some doors that nobody's here right now, but every one of these spaces has people doing all different kinds of art.
Right, each space there's 17 solo practice studios here. Each artist is different, each artist is unique, they bring their own magic to the space. We also have something called co-creation meetings where we meet maybe every 2 months. We come together to really talk about how we can co-create together, coexist together, and really amplify and activate the space so that we're reaching the community and that we're also adding to the community and expanding on what's already here. That's another goal of Spaceworks, is when we're building space, we want to co-create with the community so that we're expanding and amplifying what already exists and not changing or harming a community
So above this is housing.
Above this building is owned by Omni. They are affordable housing developers. They own most of the property within this block. They approached Spaceworks. They wanted to collaborate with us. So we thought it was a perfect idea to have a low-cost studio space. We also do rehearsal space and musician space and co-working spaces, but this facility is just solo practice studios. And artists really are welcome to use it, whatever their creative expression is or entrepreneurship is, they're welcome to use it for those purposes. So we collaborated with Omni, and the building opened in November. This is our first Bronx facility. Every artist in here is from the Bronx. Every artist here is from the Bronx. Every artist here is an artist of color. They're from the community. And it was a 3-year process to make sure that the artists that were in this space and the relationship that we were building were folks that represented the local community, and that when the space opened, that we could make sure and guarantee that we were supporting the local community and that the space was reflecting the local community, because that's so important. Building a space, bringing people into space can change the dynamic of a community, can harm a community, can bring more gentrification. So we really take all these conversations seriously and really build long-term relationships. And every artist in here, most of the artists in here, we had relationships with them prior to the space opening. So when the space was available, it was a natural transition to bring artists
To
that
move
we
them
already
here.
had collaborated with into the space.
So tell me about that process. So there are a lot of artists in the Bronx. So, and I have to add, I read about Spaceworks. I had wanted to do a show, not on Spaceworks because I didn't know about it, but on artists living and working in the Bronx. And then
Right.
I read something about Spaceworks and thought, oh, wait, here it is. People are helping to do this. So what's the process for, you must have had a lot of people looking to be in this space.
Right. In our other facilities, we do an open call. The issue with open call is the people that have access to the open call first are usually people that have privileges, or white people, or people who are on economic different levels. So we knew that that wasn't the way we wanted to go with this space. We really took a grassroots, on-the-ground effort of meeting with local artists, showing up to community events, reaching out to nonprofit organizations, and getting to know who's in the community, who are the artists here. The Bronx has such a rich, as you know, such a rich history of art and creativity. So it was really about Spaceworks getting to know who's here, what are they doing, why they're doing it, and where do they see themselves going? And having those conversations with folks, sometimes they were interviews, sometimes they were group discussions, sometimes they were focus groups, because we would do needs assessments, finding out what artists wanted, what were the needs, and what were the challenges that artists were facing here in the Bronx to accessing space. So we learned a lot of information. Of course, we couldn't tackle everything, but we knew that we could do something about space. So throughout that time, we kept the relationships with the folks, with the artists that we had engaged. We did something called the Bronx Community Artist Grant, where we awarded 4 Bronx artists $3,000 grants to support their creative practices or projects. And based on the engagement from that grant, from other activities and other groups and organization collaborations that we did, we identified a network of artists that we thought would be great to do partnerships, whether it's not in this space, but in other opportunities, to be able to continue to support what they're doing, because it's not just about our space, it's really about the community, and all the artists are here. So whether this space is here or not, we're interested in supporting the artists
And
that are
bringing them
here.
together.
Yeah, so we just happen, thank God, to be able to have the space and to be able to build a space here. And then connect the artists that we had build relationships with to the space. So it was a very organic and natural process. I'm also from the Bronx, so I had a lot of... I knew some artists, but I also have a deep passion and respect.
You can see it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So making sure that Spaceworks, one, had the right person doing the engagement, and really had respect for what needed to be done, and also building those relationships and being patient, taking time, really getting to know what people are doing, and supporting them for the sake of supporting them, and not to be, transactional.
Right. Well, you can feel it the minute you walk in, and
Thank
you
you.
are the perfect person
I
to be
appreciate that.
here.
Thank you so much.
We have to cut to a break, and then we're going to spend more time here and talk to
Awesome.
artists and walk around and look at the rest of the space.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
Hi everyone, we're back. And now we're inside one of the studios that we've been talking about, and I'm going to have my guest introduce herself and tell us all about what's going on here.
Well, hi everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Milteri Tucker Concepcion. I am the founder and artistic director of Bombazo Dance Company. So this is like the Bombazo space. And it's
without the dancers right now.
Without the dancers right now. But Bombazo is a nonprofit organization. It's my work. It kind of developed to be an organization, which is beautiful. I started first as a choreographer and artist in the Bronx, originally from the island of Puerto Rico, and just showcasing what our cultural heritage and our African connections is through dance and drum. And we've been around for 15 years in the Bronx and doing a lot of great projects here, from dance concerts to free community programs such as dancing and drumming, to connecting with other partner organizations, and well, developing also a clothing brand, which is all part of the preservation of Bomba. And Bomba.
Could you explain
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Because I know there's a big, because I'm at Hostos, so I know there's a big concert that
Yes.
happens, and it's very exciting. Lots of people come.
Well, Bomba is the musical genre of Puerto Rico. It's one of the oldest ones. It dates back to the 17th century, when the enslaved were brought to the island, all through around the island, to work in the sugarcane plantations and the coffee plantations. And Bomba emerged from a day of needing to release the energy, to be amongst their people, to celebrate their customs and celebrate their music. And they took a barrel, turned it into a drum, do the songs that were Creole and Spanish dialect, and they have been preserved through generations to families in Puerto Rico. And as a consequence also of the diaspora from Puerto Rico coming to the diaspora of New York for many years, a lot of groups, also musical groups. We are one of the first dance companies preserving the dance aspect of it, because it's a communication between dancer and drummer. And that's why our logo is making the drum talk, because that's exactly what we do when we dance Bomba, right? And it's in Puerto Rico, but the style and the form is throughout the entire Caribbean, even as much as we find the rhythms in New Orleans. And that's been one of the many aspects that I've been proud of as the director. The company members. I started with 3 company members, and now I have like 30.
Wow.
It's fantastic. We have grown throughout the years. Primarily, they're all Bronx-based artists, drummers, and dancers, and we're very proud to be the Bronx, because Bombazo is the Bronx,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
In
because
essence.
it's so,
And with that preservation comes the education. Like as I mentioned, free classes. We give back to the community. I want to mention that Bombazo means community. When all the drummers from different areas come together, when dancers and singers come together, and we celebrate that, and that's what you're talking about. It happens at Hostos. It's one big jam, Bombazo, with different groups that come in to celebrate our African ancestry. And with that, we give back to the community. We have kids that learn how to dance and drum for free, adults, all the way from babies to seniors. So it's for everybody.
And obviously, the costumes. So if
yes.
you have a skirt that we can just...
Yes, I do have. This is a smaller skirt, but I will pull it out. This is that. So I make these skirts, and this is part of the preservation of the culture. And well, the skirts really come from the colonial era, and because obviously from the tribes and coming back into the history, this was what was worn back in that time. And they had a petticoat underneath, and you have the big French high collar with the big puffs and everything that has become a staple of
And do you
Bomba
make
tradition.
them too?
Yes, we make everything. We concentrate mainly on the skirts, because now with a new generation of dancers. And as every generation passes down, we kind of make it our own. The skirt has still prevailed. And with that, the style as well, with the ruffle skirts and the length of it. So this is more like a child skirt, it's not my length, but it was a need. There was a need for it. And you know, I have two grandmothers who knew how to sew. I'm named after both my grandmothers. And one day I just had a machine, sat down and started experimenting, and owner of a dance company, you need to have that extra skill.
That's wonderful.
And what happened is through the classes and, you know, people loving our skirts, when they saw it, they were asking for skirts, and that's when the brand came about. And up to date, we are the only brand concentrating, and not only bomba, but Afro-Caribbean. So if you dance Afro-Cuban, Afro-Haitian, any style of dance that has a skirt involved, we do, and we cater. And our skirts have even reached to the shores of Japan. Wow. So that's very good. From the Bronx and Puerto Rico to Japan.
That's wonderful. That was a great little movement too, because I'm afraid we don't have time to talk about anymore. But we'll definitely put your website up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being in my space. This is Bombazo Wear. That's the brand. And the website is Bombazo, BOMBAZO, danceco.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to have to leave and take a break.
Yes.
And we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Welcome back, and we're here with Natasha Johnson, who's one of the artists in this great space. So, Natasha, tell us what you do here.
Yeah.
I feel like you are the art piece.
I think a lot of people think that, but hopefully my art is better than me. So I do a lot of things, but the stuff that I'm doing here at Spaceworks is really to actually look at what artivism looks like, and to take art and use it as a tool towards social justice. And so the project that I'm working on currently is called the Blind Spot Project. And it's a project that's looking at putting a face and a voice to the issue of female genital mutilation and cutting here in the United States, and especially here in New York City. There are about 200,000 women and girls estimated to experience this practice in the country, and about 65,000 of them are here in the New York metropolitan area. And the goal of the project is really to put a face to who these women and girls are here in New York City, and especially here in the Bronx, because they're our neighbors, they're our friends, they're our students, they're our daughters, they're our nieces. And it's also to actually just provide a space for them to actually have their voices be heard. And so my project, the Blind Spot Project, is actually doing personal interviews with people who've experienced female genital mutilation and cutting. And what we're doing is taking their voices and creating a sound bath, using their voices. And for folks who don't know, sound baths are normally used as a healing modality for people to actually decouple themselves from trauma that they've experienced. And I'm excited to think about what this looks like and how this will sound and where it will be. but being able to use their own voices as a way to maybe even assist them in uncoupling themselves from some of the experiences that they may have had. And during those interviews, our conversations will be about what their futures are and how they have imagined themselves and how they see themselves, as opposed to how I may see them as an advocate, or how their friends or family members or government officials may see them. And so in those interviews, from their voices, they come back and then we recreate this space as the image that they have designed themselves as, and they get shot in portraiture as that character. And the goal is to be able to create these images and create these portraits at about 5 to 6 feet. That's the goal. And the goal is to be able to have them be that large so that people can really sort of imagine and envision themselves in these images when they're looking at them.
And so when can we see it?
The interviews start in 2 weeks.
Great.
The goal is that the project will run throughout the summer. And so hopefully we'll see images and have voice, hopefully by the fall.
That is wonderful. And so I'm sorry we had such a little bit of time with you, but we'll be back. We definitely will.
Come back.
And thank you for doing that project and for letting us hear all about it. So
thank you.
It was great to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
After speaking with Natasha, she showed me around her studio space and explained to me the significance behind her art pieces. We walked over to the next studio space where I was greeted by Yolanda Rodriguez, co-founder at the Bronx Arts Factory. So we just talked to Natasha Johnson, and now we're here with Yolanda Rodriguez, and she is the executive director of BX Arts Factory, which is a brand new organization for me, so I want to know everything about what this is. And here we are in the space with work that's been created by a variety of people, and so tell us about this.
So BX Arts Factory is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We began in 2014. 2 artists and 2 community members from the Bronx decided to get together, and our mission is basically to create art experiences that are accessible to community and to artists. So make art accessible to the community. And right now we are, for the first time, have a space. We were functioning for a while without a space. So we moved here in December, and we have 3 studios in the Spaceworks. Yeah.
So it's open for people to learn to paint, and to what other kinds of experiences can they have?
So we do different programming around the year, across the year. We do workshop series, usually during the springtime, and it's free to the community to come and learn a variety of things. We have painting workshops, fabric, how to create a fabric from wool workshops, all kinds of different things. We do workshops depending on the artists that want to work with us. So it's a very nice variety of workshops. We have programs like Nesting the Arts Project, which basically we work with parents and parent organizations around the Bronx, and we go into parent homes to work with them and teach them how to do art at home with their children, to make art part of their parenting style and strategies, the things that they do with the kids. And we do other things, our exhibitions, monthly fundraisers, and we are working right now with some high school students, and some of the work that you see on the tables is from high school students as well.
What an interesting idea. And so how many people come through all the different programs in a year?
I'm not sure like a total number. I know that I could easily say hundreds of people come through our events from January to December. We also do outdoor events and summer events. Like this summer, we're going to have a series of community engaging programming outdoors right here in front of our space. And people enjoy doing art outdoors with family and community.
It's wonderful that you go into the houses too. That's very unusual.
We think it's very unique, and parents appreciate it. Many parents, it's hard for parents to leave the home and try to learn things, but we go to them and we try to help that way and provide the services in a comfortable and safe space, which is their home.
So how many people work here?
So we're a volunteer-led organization. We have a staff of about 10 people between the the project managers, executive director, we all have full-time jobs, and we do this as our little extra thing for the love of the Bronx and for the love of the community.
That's wonderful. That's
Thank
really
you.
a great model. And how long have you been in this space, or these 3 spaces?
Well, actually, we just had our 6-month anniversary of the space. We moved in December, so we just celebrated 6 months, and we're very happy. Many of the programs that we are, like the artwork, our exhibition on the wall, and the program with high school students, we will not have been able to do that without Spaceworks providing us with having this space. So we're very grateful to them for allowing us to be here.
And this goes on all year round?
Yes,
So-
and people can go to our website to find out
Yeah.
other things that we do, but we're all year round, very active.
Well, I'm thrilled to know about you because I didn't know about the organization. So now we'll have to let more people know
Yes,
about you so they
please.
can take advantage of this.
Yes.
So, and thank you. Thanks you so much for sitting and talking to us.
Thank you.
But I appreciate it.
That's all we have time for this time with our visit to Spaceworks. But if you've missed any part of this, or if you want to watch it again, just go to BronxNet.tv and look for Mission BX. I hope you'll join us next time when we continue to explore the wonderful world of nonprofits in the Bronx.
Well, I got this as a paid internship. Spending my time here, I really enjoyed the people that work here. I enjoy what goes on behind the scenes.
So far, I've learned how to operate a camera, how to host. I learned how to control audio.
My first time hosting was really nerve-wracking, but I really enjoyed it because it was a new experience.